Hello, my name is Avinash Verma. I am from Department of Electronics and Communication. My USN is 1SP16EC012 and I am doing a presentation on my seminar topic Gi-Fi, that is gigabit fidelity. So let's move. These are the contents that includes introduction, network evolution, why Gi-Fi is important, Bluetooth versus Wi-Fi, disadvantages of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, what is Wi-Fi, its features, its applications, the technology considerations of Wi-Fi, conclusions, and the bibliography. So let's move on. Introduction. Wi-Fi and WiMAX are the recent developments for data transfer. Problem with faster rate of transfer data as video information transfer is taking a lot of time. This leads to introduction of Wi-Fi technology with far more advantages over Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is developed on an integrated wireless transceiver chip in which a small antenna is used and both transmitter receiver integrated on a single chip are fabricated using the complementary metal dioxide semiconductor process. Wi-Fi is 10 times the current maximum wireless transfer rate, usually within a range of 10 meters. That is very huge. The Wi-Fi operates on the 60 GHz frequency band. The Wi-Fi measures 5 mm square and it is manufactured using existing complementary metal oxide semiconductor, that is CMOS technology. It was developed at the National Information and Communication Technology Research Centre in Melbourne, Australia. Then these are the network evolutions. First came the cables, which was developed in the 19th century. Then came the optical fibers, which was developed in the late 1970s. Then came the wireless access in the late 1980s. Then came the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi came earlier, but it was implemented later. Then came WiMAX, which was introduced in June 2001. Then these are the recent development of Wi-Fi, which we are using, which we will use. Why Wi-Fi? Reason for pushing into Wi-Fi technology is because of slow rate of data transfer, high power consumption, low range of frequency operations of earlier technology, that is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So here we will discuss Bluetooth versus Wi-Fi. So Bluetooth operates in the frequency of 2.4 GHz, the same for Wi-Fi, that is 2.4 GHz. Bluetooth range is 10 meters and that of Wi-Fi is 100 meters. It's just the Bluetooth's primary application is VPN cable replacement and that of Wi-Fi is VLAN Ethernet. The data transfer rate of Bluetooth is 800 kbps and that of Wi-Fi is 11 Mbps and more than that. We know that the power consumption of Bluetooth is low and that of Wi-Fi is medium, but that of Wi-Fi is lower than both. Primary devices in which Bluetooth is used is mobile phones, PDAs, consumer electronics, office and industrial automation devices. And that Wi-Fi is used in notebook computers, desktops, computers, servers, that to mobile also. Primary users are Bluetooth are traveling employees, electronics consumers, office and industrial workers, and that of Wi-Fi is corporate campus users. Usage location of Bluetooth is anywhere at least two Bluetooth devices exist, ideal for roaming outside building. But that of Wi-Fi is more within range of VLAN infrastructure, usually inside a building. Bluetooth start development start date is 1998 and that of Wi-Fi is 1990. Specifications of Bluetooth are Bluetooth SIG and that of Wi-Fi is IEEE WPCA. Then we will move on to disadvantages of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The bit rates of Bluetooth is 800 kbps and Wi-Fi has 11 Mbps. Both are having power consumptions 5 mW and 10 mW. The frequency of the lower frequency of operation 2.4 GHz for transferring large amount of videos, audio, data files takes hours of time. So to have higher data transfer rate at low power consumption, we move to Wi-Fi technology. Then we'll discuss here what is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi or Gigabit Wireless Fidelity is the world's first transceiver integrated on a single chip that operates at 60 GHz on the CMOS process. It allows wireless transfer of audio and video data at up to 5 gigabits per second. That is 10 times the current maximum wireless transfer rate at the 1/10 of the cost, which is a huge success. NICTA researchers have chosen to develop this technology in the 57-64 GHz unlicensed frequency band as the millimeter wave range of the spectrum that makes possible high component on-chip integration as well as allowing for the integration of very small high gain arrays. The available 7 GHz of spectrum result in very high data rates up to 5 gigabits per second to users within an indoor environment, usually within a range of 10 meters. It satisfies the standards of IEEE 802.15.3c. Then here we will discuss about the working of Wi-Fi. It uses time division duplex, which is used for both transmission and receiving. At the transmitter end, data files are up converted from IF range to RF range, that is 60 GHz range by using two mixers. Two mixers. The output will be fed into a power amplifier which fed millimeter wave antenna. Then at the receiver end, the incoming radio frequency signal is first down converted to in IF signal centered at 5 GHz, then to normal data ranges. We use heterodyne construction for this process to avoid leakage due to direct conversion. Due to availability of 7 GHz spectrum, the total data will be transferred within a seconds. Then why 60 GHz important? Millimeter wave antenna used will operate at 60 GHz frequency, which is unlicensed band. Because of this band, we are achieving high rate of data. Energy propagation in the 60 Hz band has unique characteristics that makes possible many other benefits such as excellent immunity to co-channel interference, high security, and frequency reuse. Point-to-point wireless system operating at 60 GHz have been used for many years for satellite-to-satellite communications. This is because of high oxygen absorptions at 60 GHz, which is 10 to 15 decibel per kilometer. Gaseous absorption attenuates 60 GHz signals over distance so that signals cannot travel far beyond that intended recipient. For this reason, 60 GHz is an excellent choice for, for powered communications. You can see the graph here why gaseous absorption is used. Then we will move on to the next slide. Ultra wide band frequency usage. WAB are technology with high bit rate, high security and faster data transmission. It is a zero carrier technique with low coverage area, so we have low power consumption. Ultra wideband is a technology for transmitting information spread over a large bandwidth, that is more than 500 megahertz, that should be able to share spectrum with other users. Regulatory settings of FCC are intended to provide an efficient use of scarce radio bandwidth while enabling both high data rate personal area networks PAN, wireless connectivity, and longer range, low data rate application as well as radar imaging system. Then we will move on to the next slide, which is the features of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi has high speed of data transfer as we have discussed, low power consumption than Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Also, quick development, that small size, cost effective, high security, high performance. It is also highly portable and has a flexible architecture. There are many more features of Wi-Fi which is far superior than Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Then we'll come to the applications. It is used in wireless PAN networks. As you can see from the diagram here, one notebook is connected through all of this using Wi-Fi, that is LAN AP, its PDA, PSTN gateway, fax, headset, printer, cellular phone. Okay. Then inter-vehicle communication system. As you can see, it can be used to detect nearby vehicles and have communication between them at a very high speed. Then it can also be used for video information transfer via PC to phone or PC to PC or phone to phone. Then it is also used in millimeter wave video signals transmission system, as you can see from the diagram here. This is the conceptual image. Okay, then we will move on to the next slide. In this millimeter wave PAN for an on-demand transmission or rebroadcasting of video information to ad hoc terminals. As you can see that building, there has the IP network, communication satellite, broadcast satellite, terrestrial broadcast, all are available here. The central transceiver is receiving all that, and the millimeter wave transceiver, as you can see the inside of the building, is used to do all of the things using Wi-Fi. Then we'll move on to the technology considerations of Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi integrated transceiver chip may be launched by the end of this year by NICTA. Due to less cost of chip, so many companies came forward to launch with lower cost. The potential of milliwatt VPN for ultra-fast data exchange has promoted companies like Intel, LG, Panasonic, NEC, Samsung, Cybeam, Sony, and Toshiba to form Wireless HD, an industry-led effort to define a specification for the next generation consumer electronic products. So, as you can see, we can expect Wi-Fi very, very near. Maybe this year also, and or maybe next year. But that will be a great thing. So here we'll come to the conclusion. Within 5 years, we expect Wi-Fi to be a dominant technology for wireless networking. By the time it's fully mobile, as well as providing low cost, high broadband access with very high speed, large files can be swapped within seconds, which will develop wireless home and office of future. That will be a huge success. The success of Wi-Fi and the imminent wide usage of WiMAX is an indication Wi-Fi potentially can bring wireless broadband to the enterprise in a new way. So that's it. This is the bibliography from where I've taken my reference, and with all that, thank you for the time. This is Avinash Verma signing off.